it needs to stop. This kind of bureaucratic, big corporation, administrative bullying, it needs to stop. Organizations, corporations, businesses, bureaucratic, whatever, if they've got such a hold on you that you can't function anymore as a human being, that's wrong. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Quality of Life podcast. My name is Anneke. In my tedious Road to Victory series. It's a series I've just started, and currently it's a made-up title because the road is tedious, but the victory is unknown yet. I hope there's going to be victory. Several victories, in fact. So what is this about? I am currently battling bureaucracy. I'm battling with big corporations, and they're all in the administrative corner of what can go wrong. I don't know why. I seem to attract this at the moment in time, or I have attracted this since April 2022, and it has been a tough road so far. We're now, where are we? 25th of June 2025. So it's over 3 years now. And why would you listen to this? Because I want you to know that you're not alone. How do I know that you're not alone? Not because there's me battling with those things. This week, I have contacted the ICO, Information Commissioner's Office. That's an organization in the UK, and they deal with data protection things. And one of the things they do is when you ask a company for your data, so all the data they hold on you, and if you don't get it, which in my case I didn't get it the way I asked for it, they will look into it, and it's unclear what they do next. Maybe they can give them a slap on the wrist. They don't have real powers, but it is one of the steps you need to take to contact them if you prepare for a legal fight, which at the moment I am. I'm preparing for legal fights. I'm fed up with it. I want to take them to court, all of them, unless they change their tune very, very quickly. I'm fed up with it. Anyway, when I called the ICO, I got a very friendly man on the phone, and we had a nice chat, and he validated that I was on the right road, which is sometimes really good to hear because it can be very, very lonely. He mentioned that there are over 1,000 requests every single week in the UK alone. Let that sink in. Over 1,000 requests, like me, people who are trying to get their data from big corporations or any corporation, any business, and failing. They don't get it. So you're definitely not alone. And sometimes that's good to know that there are other people who are in a similar situation. And what do they do in order to move things along? What do they do in order to get to a resolution? Now, I should have started this podcast with a disclaimer that I'm not a legal person. I have no legal background whatsoever. I'm figuring this out as I go along, and you should not take anything what I say or what I do as truth, because I don't know. I might be doing things wrong, and I have done some things not wrong, but I could have done it better in the past, and then I have to rectify it and start a procedure again and all the rest of it. So if you are in a similar situation, please do your own research And if you need advice, go to someone who specializes in whatever it is you need in your country. Because that's the other thing. I live in the UK, and the UK has different rules from other places. So, and even if you live in the UK, your situation is your situation, and it could be quite different from mine. So, this is just as I hope that it will be a kind of guiding light, that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that there can be victory at the end of this very long, 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 long and tedious road. But, if we let companies get away with this, where does it end? Where does it end? I hate bullying and I hate injustice. And that's what's here. This is wrong on so many levels. So, I want you to know you're not alone. For me, why am I doing this? As in, why do I put it out as a podcast? This was not meant to be the content for this podcast. I was meant to start podcasting, close to Christmas, and they don't start, they say putting out a podcast in Christmas that's a bad time. You should start, January, February. So that was what I was meant to do. And it hasn't happened yet because of all this. All this really took over my life. It has been a big part of my life since April 2022. And it has prevented me from doing lots of things just because of the time and energy it has taken out of me. But in January this year, my world kind of started to collapse around me, and it all came to a head. The energy supplier, Scottish Power, Connexus, their debt collecting agency, a debt they don't even know what the debt is, because Scottish Power hasn't got a clue what the debt is. So how can they transfer that debt to a debt collecting agency? It's ridiculous. Domestic and General, which is about a washer dryer that's gone wrong, and they had a contract with me, a kind of insurance policy to swap it like for like. If they were either going to repair it or swap it like for like. They couldn't repair it, and they decided to swap it and give me a new machine, which is fine. And it wasn't like for like. It's an inferior model to the one I had, which is wrong. Because that was not their policy. Their policy said like for like, and I don't want an inferior model. I want what I had, or better. Then there's the council tax. The local council decided to hit me with a retrospective council tax bill for 3 years. So that was fun. Part of it has been resolved now, and another part is still ongoing. And then there's a Dutch savings account that is supposed to, so I've saved money over a period of time, and then it's supposed to pay out over a period of time every month. And they've decided to keep over 1/3 of the money to pay my Dutch tax. I don't pay, well, first of all, I don't pay tax in the Netherlands, and that's not their job. Their job is to pay out the money, and then it's up to me to pay tax over it or not. Again, it's one of those situations where savings accounts and banks, and they start infringing in parts of people's life that they have got no business infringing in. That's not their job. It's my job to pay tax. Well, it's not my job, but it's my responsibility. They've got nothing to do with it. So there's a lot of things going on, and that all came to a head in January, which meant that I was off work for 4 months, and I didn't get to do anything because if you think, oh, well, you're home for 4 months, I'm sure your house looks pristine and everything is tidied and cleared up and clean and, you've got everything sorted in your life. No, nothing, as in literally nothing happened. I did a little bit of knitting. I've got lots of amazing projects in my head, but I just could not get my brain together to actually do that. So the only knitting I've done is very simple knitting. Just, strips of fabric to be sewn together into a blanket. Just a scarf, which is only knit, only knit. It's a rib, only knit, which is ridiculous. When organizations, corporations, businesses, bureaucratic, whatever, if they've got such a hold on you that you can't function anymore as a human being, that's wrong. And of course, for me, there was an extra layer to it because I'm a therapist. I deal with, I have dealt with people with all sorts of problems, and being able to resolve things. Well, not me resolving them, but, to help people get to resolutions. And I just could not move forwards. It was horrendous. So there's this kind of an extra layer of how could I do that all those years? Because I got great results. And now I'm in a position of, what do I do if I meet someone like me in a similar situation? The only thing I can say is, well, keep on going, keep on breathing, take it easy, take time out, aim to sleep. Sleep is important. Aim to sleep, aim to eat and drink as healthily as you can. Drink lots of waters, eat nutritious food, really good food. Don't do as I do and self-medicate with chocolate peanuts. That's not good. I know, because I needed bigger clothes. It was winter and I was wearing very nice and stretchy clothes, so I didn't really notice until the moment I had to go back to work, and I thought, like, ooh, this is rather tight. 2 sizes up, 2 sizes in 4 months' time. That's an awful lot of an awful lot of chocolate peanuts. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's also not good. And I know. Good food and good drink helps you to think more clearly. And there was just a point in time where I thought, well, screw that. I don't care anymore. And chocolate peanuts. I really like them. So there you go. That's what has happened over the past 6 months, because we're almost the end of June now. After 4 months being at home, I started a phased return to work, but I still didn't have enough brain space to do the podcast, to do my course, to work everything together. It just didn't happen. And only this week I thought, what is really important in my life right now? And that's the battles that I'm fighting. And I really want to let people know that they're not the only ones. I really want people to know that there might be light at the end of the tunnel. I've got some partial successes. I've had a partial success with the council tax. I've had a partial success with domestic and general. And I've had a partial success with Scottish Power when it came to installing a smart meter for my gas supply. And I objected in really strong words. And I'm now down as what words did they use? Anyway, that I refuse to have it installed, and they won't. So let's hope they keep their word. So no gas meter. Smart meter. I do have an electricity smart meter that still needs to be removed. But yeah, Anyway, so there's a lot of things going on, and that's important in my life right now, and I strongly believe that it's important in a lot of people's life right now. And even though that's not the podcast I wanted to make, it wasn't the podcast I envisaged to make. By now, this is what's happening, and the more people fight back, the more likely it is that things will change. It has to change. It can't go on like this. As I've said in another podcast, one of the things I do is I'm a healthcare assistant in the emergency department of a hospital. And during my phased return, I have seen quite a lot of people who have taken an overdose. Now, you might have a picture in your mind of the kind of people who take an overdose. And on the whole, you would be right. There's a type, people who've used substance abuse for a long time in their lives, and it shows in their physique, it shows in the way they behave. They are there. That's not the kind of people I'm talking about. That's not the kind of people I've met during my phased return, which is only since April. Halfway April, I started coming back, and it caught my eye how many people in the middle of their lives are taking an overdose. And when I talk to them, as you have to talk about something, and sometimes conversations can get deep in a very quick way, and sometimes they tell you, because I don't always know what it is, especially if they're not my patient. Oh, how come you're here? And then they say, oh, I've taken an overdose. Oh, okay. It's an interesting thing. And then when you very tentatively ask, why, these kind of things, energy suppliers, bureaucratic stuff, that should have been a non-issue, that should have been resolved in no time flat, started to build up and build up and build up, and people can't cope anymore. And those people are in the middle of their lives. They're not young people who are hit by something that they've never seen before, or don't know how to deal with. They're also not elderly people who for whatever reason think the world might be better off without me, or whatever it is that compels them. No, those are people 40, 50 years old, and they take an overdose because they can't cope with life anymore. And for some people, they say it was a cry for help, and other people it was that was my intention, and yes, I'm alive, but nothing has changed. And that are the people who made it to the emergency department. How many people have actually succeeded? And it's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. It needs to stop. This kind of bureaucratic, big corporation, administrative bullying, it needs to stop. No other company can get away with it. No other company can. Because if you are a small tradesperson and you would treat your customers like this, you would have no company. You would have no customers, because they don't want you, and the only word of mouth would be bad word of mouth. It's impossible to survive. Yet for those big companies, those big bureaucratic organizations, it is possible to just go on, and it has to stop. So, for me, the energy supplier was the biggest culprit. Is that a way to say it? Maybe because it has been going on for such a long time. It's been going on the longest time. And I've tried so much to rectify things and to get things organized and done, and it hasn't happened. And they've got a lot to answer for. They have got a lot to answer for. So yeah, as I said, this is not the podcast I envisaged making. And at the moment, this is where I am. And someone told me, maybe you should do that. Maybe you should make a podcast over it. Maybe it is an idea to take people along with you on that particular road or those particular roads, because I'm dealing with several in one go. And even though I'm not an expert, I've learned a lot. I've learned all sorts of things that I never ever wanted to learn, because admin is not my thing. It is not my thing. I just, give me all sorts of things to do and I will relish in it. Give me yarn and I'll create a garment. Give me fabric and I'll make something beautiful. Give me a plot of land and I'll create a garden. There's all sorts of things I can do. Let me help people, and I usually can perk them up in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, I can do those things, and they're my kind of things. That's my wheelhouse. This is a very steep learning curve, and as I said, these are the things I'm doing. They might not be the right things for you. You have to figure it out for yourself, and check it if my steps are the right steps for you to take, or whether you should take other steps altogether. And if you can find other people who are in a similar position, then by all means hook up and exchange information. Sometimes it's just nice to know that there are people who are in a similar situation. You're not alone. So yeah, if that's your cup of tea, if that's where you are at this moment in time, then by all means tune in. I will, and I have already recorded some podcasts about healthcare and healing and all the rest of it, and that's what I aim to do. My aim is to do more and more podcasts about healthcare, the things you can do for yourself, things you can do for your loved ones. That's the aim. Gardening and herbs, creating a sustainable life for yourself. That's the aim. That's the aim. And it will come. Maybe it will be a parallel road to the tedious road to victory. I hope so. I hope that I've got enough headspace to do so. That I will pick up my course again, and that I will finally find a farm that I can create my own farm with a healthcare center alongside it. That's the dream. That's the dream. So yeah, I hope for some parallel roads, and that they all lead to their own version of victory. And I hope the same for you. Thank you for listening, and we'll see each other next time. Okay, bye-bye.